So, good morning. Bon matin, everyone. I hope you had a great evening. Good morning so far as well. And ready for another exciting session. Chat is open, so if you have questions, you can drop them there. All right, so let's start with the market. QQQE. So, yeah, very constructive action yesterday. Um, and yesterday was kind of that fuck with them all, is what I call. They can't make that easy, right, to position, and a lot of people were waiting for that strength to position. And yesterday was kind of that nice gap up, but they faded it, and it's super classic to see that gap and fade. People chase on the gap, get faded, get stopped, and then the following day they bring back the strength and make everyone chase again. That's the game, and that's why I like to position early, ideally right in support, ideally early on the market turn as well. And yeah, right now the trend seems to confirm, but it remains choppy from what we saw in the last few days. I still have traction, decent traction, but overall it remains uh, still pretty choppy action. So maybe yesterday's chop and fade will kind of fuel a more easy trend that we'll need to see. So like I said, constructive action. We were watching that 21 DMA structure reclaim and backtest setup. And yesterday we made a new higher high above that most recent swing high pivot. So that's exactly what we wanted to see to confirm the back test, right? So when we see that reclaim of the recent swing high, that push to a new higher high, it basically confirmed the uptrend attempt. And that's what we had yesterday, and that's very good action. So price action looks good. Internals, we were watching that what we define as healthy counter trend rally into a declining 21-day structure. So very typical and healthy in a pullback. And like we discussed yesterday morning, we don't want that to spike, right? We don't want to see a reclaim of structure and credit spreads. We want to see a downside reversal. So basically a close below the prior day's high to confirm the rejection and the follow through to the downside. And that's what we had yesterday. So another good constructive sign for me. Same thing on VIX. So double rejection of the daily structure, downside reversal. So good action as well. And Bitcoin. So Bitcoin gets really, really interesting. So yesterday we closed strong above the prior day high. So we basically confirm a daily reversal on what was a pretty intense flush to create that higher low structure. But for me, that daily reversal kind of confirmed that higher low structure. We don't know where it will go. We still need that confirmation of the 21 DMA structure reclaim and that range structure around 93 K ish. That's what we're trying to break out right now. And ideally, if we can see that reclaim and that breakout today, that would be kind of the third very constructive step for Bitcoin. So the first one was that higher low structure. The second one was that daily reversal. So we go step by step, right? So we build that bullish constructive action and bullish thesis. And for me, that started with that higher low, then that reversal yesterday, and that third one will come from that reclaim, that breakout of that range and the 21 day structure, and then the fourth one will be a successful back testing action into a rising 21 day structure. So that's kind of the price action cycle and constructive action cycle that I always look for in stocks. And going in the Gitbook, that's exactly the 4 steps that I explain. Um, well, not the daily reversal, that's kind of a hidden constructive clues. But yeah, that's the playbook that I explain in the Gitbook, right? So we see that playbook play in real time with Bitcoin right now. Um, and yeah, Nasdaq itself, constructive action as well. 21 DMA structure, reclaim and backtest, same action as QQQE. Now let's look at Brett. And like I said yesterday, right now you'll see me a bit more light on the market analysis, simply because, and that's always the same thing at each market cycle. When we start to get price trending above a rising 21 day structure, and when we get McClellan summation starting to trend above a rising 10 DMA, especially from an oversold reading, then I kind of switch off my analysis brain and just say to myself, okay, the trend is confirmed, Brett is expanding. I focus on my portfolio and my exposure on my focus list, and I just need to execute. So at some point, you'll see me very, very less active on the market analysis and just focus more and more on my own stuff, how they hacks, if there's red flags, etc., and how the liquid leaders are setting up each day and how they act. All right, so nothing to see. 10 DMAs trying to curl up. That's good to see. We're trending above. We're still oversold, so plenty of room remaining to the upside. That's what we want to see. So we have good exposure at good spots in what could be the liquid leaders. So now the game is really to bring our panda spirit up and be patient with the exposure that we have. All right, unless we have red flags, unless we start to break structure, there you go. It's panda time. Let's go back to trading view. All right, so we covered Bitcoin, we covered the market itself, QQQ and QQQE. So VRT, there was a lot of pivot retests yesterday, right? So retested the swing high pivot on VRT, now gap up. So that's the type of action that scare you off. But if you just focus on the levels and if you don't stress too much because we're still above a rising 21 day structure, then that's very normal and healthy action. We didn't even give up that recent swing high pivot, so nothing to worry about. Let's see how it goes today. Tesla is a new position. Again, I like the larger time frame. We have that huge multi-year base from 2021 that we broke out and retest. And look at the change of character, right? So we tried to break out in 2024. We tried to retest. but right away we broke down and started that big downtrend. Look what we did right now. We broke out, sideway, retest, and now it's the moment of truth. Do we resume that uptrend, or do we break down just like in 2024, 2025? So I like that long-term chart, and for me, I had to have my setup on the daily, obviously, and that's what I have. 21 DMA structure reclaim and back test right into that big structure right here. So there's that confluence of that base structure, that range structure, that recent swing high structure. So a lot of structure to offer support. And so far with that gap up, looks like that back test is working. And I want to see that push today, right? We don't want to back into the gate. We want to see that go and ideally close strong. CN, nothing to do, just trending above a rising 21 day structure. GV, another new position, and another one that I was eyeing the weekly setup. So nice pullback structure, but I had to get my daily setup right because it's a choppy base. So I wanted to see that 21 DMA structure reclaim and back test. That's what we had, and I initiated yesterday on the range structure reclaim and also the daily reversal. All right, so let's see where it goes. And that's a name that I expect to see a lot of chop right away. I don't expect it to kind of rocket higher from here, but as long as we remain above the rising 21 DMA structure, I'm good to weather that chop. LRCX, nice daily reversal, strong close, nothing to do, just trending above the rising 21 DMA structure. Same thing for APH, gap up, didn't fill the gap, so nothing to do, trending above the rising 21 day structure. IBM, bad close. I started to reduce my position. We're still above a rising 21 day structure, but just wanted to manage my risk at the end of the day. That's what that was the clear candidate to reduce my position. WDC, so memory plays kind of pulled back into structure yesterday. I thought they were ready, but looks like they need some time. We saw the same thing on Micron backtest and STX as well. So the group needed more time. That's good. Let them build the right side. WDC is the risk for me anyway. And yeah, as long as we hold the 21 DMA structure, that's my trailing stop. Caterpillar, really good action, seems to be leading. I took my 2R target at 1.9 ish yesterday just to manage risk into the close. So yeah, now it's the risk. My trailing stop is the 21 DMA structure. Let's see where it goes. And yeah, Focuslist for me. So I had WDC, still a good setup. LRCX on weakness, right? So last night I didn't know if we would do gap up or gap down. So a gap down would have given a nice entry on LRCX. VRT, if we would have that gap down as well, I was looking for another higher low on the right side, but with that gap up, I would stay away from it. Clack, same thing. Very constructive action of the swing high pivot. But I was looking for that swing high pivot retest as an entry. So you see that gap up kind of removes a lot of names from the focus list. And that's why I hate gap ups and why I like to position myself before those happens, right? And GEV, same thing. I was kind of looking for that structure retest for an entry, but now it gaps above and kind of invalidate the setup. So to be honest, not a lot of good cheap entry into support. And yeah, it tells us about the game plan that we have and we need to adopt today. It's probably more of a wait and see, wait for those 2R targets to be hit, be patient with the exposure that we have. And yeah, we'll see how the market push from here. And yeah, eventually we'll backtest more, we'll pull back more. And if that happens higher, then we'll have time to trim. Our exposure will be reduced, and that will be the time to really re-add exposure. On a gap up like today, it's not the time, at least for me, to do that. All right. So, what are your thoughts on growl? Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's it's a decent setup. I don't have that name in my list. Yeah, so not sure it's fully ready. I would watch. That's kind of a lot of momentum in the last 2 days to retest the 21 DMA structure. Um, Ideally, with that, I tend to wait for the shakeout, for the tight range. Let it settle a bit. Watch in the next few days for that daily reversal to be triggered. Uh, that's potentially a nice name to engage, but not sure it's fully ready yet. Yeah, shop is will look nicely. It's in the scan, but I don't like the volatility on the right side. Um, when we chop around the 21 DMA structure like that, um, kind of puts me a bit on the defensive, and that's why I removed that from the focus list. I would have liked to see that backtest to all kind of that area right here. And if that would have happened, I would probably be in shop right now. So that's a reason why I didn't execute shop and why it's not in my focus list right now. But yeah, you can play the daily reversal pivot, the base structure. That's still a good setup, but for me, it's not A plus, right? Gap ups when you're trying to get position. Yeah. Gap ups when you're fully positioned. Yeah. Right on. Thought on. Oh, no, sorry. Jennifer, can you elaborate a bit? Once you're at your 2R trim, will you keep the rest of your position until a close below the 21? Yeah, that's my system. You can go into the Git book to read about my system if you didn't. So yeah, I take my 2R and then I trail the 21 DME structure. We keep it simple here. I like it like that. All right. All right, I don't like that much because it's not a good trender. Uh, and look at that volatility on the right side. You think you you nail the breakout, then you're hit with a 10% uh, slam down the next day. Um, I think there's better play out there, or at least wait for the right side to form some tight action in support, and then you have a better setup and less chances to be chopped and stopped out. So yeah, Ud, we covered that each day now. I don't like the volatility. That's the same thing. You have a 11% gap up, 4% gap down, big gap up again. I want to see that settle down. I'm not in a hurry to trade Robinhood right now. Let it confirm that trend, and we'll be there to grab on the right side a bit higher. And that was the same thing in April. I grabbed that pullback a bit higher out of the high volatility in that we had. And did I miss the trend? Fuck no. That was one of my best trade of the year. So don't be in a hurry. Wait for what you want to see. Wait for the dust to settle. Control that FOMO. You won't miss that big trend. Let it settle. It's not a race. It's a marathon, right? Oh yeah, BE is might setup, but you know my playbook, guys. So you can engage on the 21 day structure reclaim on that swing high pivot reclaim as well. But for me, especially with those type of high ATR name, I much prefer to grab on the retest, on the back test when volatility is lower, because volatility is high right now. You have good chances to be stopped out. So yeah, I prefer to grab on the back test personally. So Micron, yeah, that's a good setup. I just went with WDC, which seems to be the leader. And yeah, the group is still setting up. I shared WDC, I shared STX. Micron earnings very close, so that's why I don't engage as well. But yeah, the three memory plays are looking good, setting up. It's just a matter of which one you go for. BAP. Oh my god, that's an ugly chart. There's no trend in this. Yeah, there's this recent trend, but that I it reminds me a bit of GEV, to be honest. Uh, yeah, I think there's far better stuff out there to trade personally. Um, yeah, I wouldn't trade that. Nvidia. Yeah, just looking at the daily, you have that 21 DME structure declining rejection. So need for that, wait for that reclaim, wait for that back test. We're still below that big base structure. So yeah, still at risk. Nvidia is not a leading name. Um, So yeah, let's wait and see what it does. Tuba, how do you decide where you take 5 or 7 R? I don't plan to take 5 or 7 R anymore. I want to keep a bigger piece of my trade, and I changed the git book according to it as well. So taking my 2R, then trailing the 21 day structure. Amazon. Was there any news? Looks like the market is not happy. So Amazon, I think it needs time to backtest, to be honest. Strong move from the lows. Look for that higher low. I wouldn't trade that right now. Uh, Reminds me a bit of this run. It needs to backtest. Needs to form a higher low. SoFi, yeah, almost got that into the focus list. That could be a nice pick on the backtest. So look for the backtest into the rising 21 day structure. That's a good name. So Udo, I just explained exactly why. Uh, for me, it's too volatile. There's big gaps up and downs. I just compared it to April's period. It needs time to settle, and I'm not in a hurry. Go for it if you want to, but volatility is high. You have good chances to be chopped up and stopped out. I just want to see volatility to subside. I'm not saying that that's a bad setup and it will sell off. I'm just saying that I want to see less volatility, and that's me. Um, yeah, so good 21 day structure reclaim and backtest. You can look for the daily reversal to engage. Yeah, good setup. Was there any news? Is any bombs that went off? Microsoft. Microsoft lowers AI software sales quota as customers resist newer products. All right, thank you, Microsoft. That might be a good shakeout. So we were discussing the focus list a bit earlier, guys, and we said that that gap up would kind of prevent engaging. So maybe that gap down is or weakness at the open is the gift to open exposure for you. All right, fix. I ate those charts. Gap up, sideway. Gap up, sideway. Um, and it's very, very choppy. I think there's far better setups out there. Have you ever thought about automating your trading strategy? No, Mike. It's you can trade this way for ages. Price action and trending market always been there and will always be there. I'm just a trend follower. I get in early in the trend and I trail the trend. There's nothing new, and that will always be there as long as market trends. All right, guys. So I think we'll cover the session there. We'll monitor the pre-market action, and if there's any moves that we need to make today at the end of the day, if that triggers a bigger sell-off, then we'll react. But so far, we're still looking at normal action, looking at this structure to be retested, and as long as it holds, it's all good. All right. So have a good day, everyone. Take care. And once again, I will be in the swing trading pit if you have any questions. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.